A top-secret project has unleashed a powerful quantum AI on Buckingham Palace's most guarded legal documents.
Diana, Princess of Wales, has been killed in a car accident.
For decades, the story of Princess Diana's tragic passing seemed settled. But this new analysis of centuries-old royal papers, private letters, and classified files has spit out a result so shocking it could rewrite history. The findings suggest the panic inside the palace walls on that fateful night wasn't just about grief. Truth be told, it was about a hidden legal bombshell. Diana possessed a secret powerful enough to challenge the monarchy's very foundation. A machine that thinks in ways we can't possibly comprehend has been turned loose on one of the most protected institutions on Earth, the British monarchy. For the first time ever, a top-secret project, codenamed Lancelot, has fed centuries of Buckingham Palace's legal documents, private correspondence, and classified government memos into a powerful quantum AI. The goal was to find hidden patterns in the monarchy's history, but it found something far more immediate and explosive. The AI's very first report focused on the 24 hours following the tragic incident in Paris on August 31, 1997. And its primary conclusion is so shocking it turns history on its head. The frantic, cold, and chaotic response from the royal family, particularly the Queen, wasn't just about grief or protecting tradition. Believe it or not, the AI's analysis of legal precedents and Diana's own private records suggests they were responding to a far greater threat, a constitutional crisis that Diana herself was on the verge of unleashing. And the next clue? It was hidden in plain sight all along. The AI cross-referenced thousands of documents, from 17th century succession laws to Diana's prenuptial agreement. It flagged a single, almost forgotten codicil in royal marital law. This obscure clause stated that if a royal spouse, even after divorce, could prove deliberate endangerment or malicious neglect from the crown, their children's claim to the throne could be legally challenged and placed under the guardianship of their maternal bloodline, in this case, the Spencers. The AI then analyzed Diana's recently recovered private diaries and letters, discovering she had allegedly been gathering evidence with her lawyers to invoke this very clause. She wasn't just breaking away, she was building a legal case that could have potentially given her enormous influence over Prince William, the future king. This reframes the entire drama at Balmoral Castle. The 3 a.m. phone call wasn't just news of a tragedy, it was the start of a ticking clock. The AI highlights Prince Charles's reaction, a man described as collapsing in grief, but it also tags his immediate and fierce insistence on using the royal plane and demanding a state funeral as something more than sorrow. The AI labels it strategic appeasement. He wasn't just honoring his ex-wife, he was beginning the process of publicly re-embracing Diana's legacy to nullify any claim of neglect. Meanwhile, Prince Philip's cold rejection of the idea, claiming Diana was no longer a member of the royal family, is flagged by the AI as a protocol defense, a desperate attempt to legally distance the institution from her, thereby weakening any potential claim her estate could make. The AI's analysis of the Queen's initial response is the most chilling. Her refusal to return to London and her command to comfort the children is interpreted not as grandmotherly concern, but as a move to secure the assets, William and Harry, and keep them firmly within the palace's sphere of influence, away from the Spencer family. The entire conflict wasn't just heart versus tradition, it was a desperate legal battle for control of the future king. The ghost in the royal machine. So how could a machine possibly know all this? Project Lancelot isn't just a super-fast computer, it's a new form of intelligence. Where human historians see separate events, the quantum AI sees a single massive web of data. It ingested everything, the official records, yes, but also the valuable fluff that historians often dismiss. It scanned tabloid articles, paparazzi photo logs, and even architectural blueprints of the Ritz in Paris. It processed over 300,000 documents, connecting a seemingly innocent request by Diana for extra security months earlier to a little-known parliamentary debate about royal protection. To the AI, these weren't coincidences. They were data points in a rapidly escalating pattern of risk. It found something truly unsettling in the communications logs between British intelligence in Paris and London on that night. While the official story is that Diana had shunned royal protection, the AI found fragments of encrypted MI6 traffic suggesting a non-official surveillance team was active in Paris and tracking her movements. The AI's most damning analysis focuses on the stripping of Diana's Her Royal Highness, or HRH, title after the divorce. Publicly, this was seen as a final petty humiliation, but the AI scoured the legal documents of the divorce settlement and found a loophole, a reversion clause that Diana's lawyers had apparently inserted. Truth be told, this clause suggested the HRH title could be temporarily restored if her life was proven to be in imminent peril due to her connection to the throne. Why does this matter? Having the HRH title, even temporarily, would have given her massive legal leverage and direct access to the Queen, bypassing the government. The AI cross-references this with notes from Diana's therapist and confidants, which showed she was increasingly fearful for her life in the weeks leading up to the incident. She wasn't just paranoid, she was potentially laying the groundwork to use this legal escape hatch. This digital ghost in the machine paints a picture of a woman who was far from a helpless victim. Instead, the AI portrays her as a brilliant strategist who knew the system's weaknesses and was preparing to use them. The royals weren't dealing with a fragile, emotional ex-wife. They were facing a player who knew the game as well as they did. The frantic energy in those first 24 hours becomes crystal clear through this lens. They weren't just mourning, they were disarming a legal time bomb that Diana had set. And the tragic incident in the tunnel had, in a horrifying way, prevented it from ever going off. Now, with Diana gone, the new priority became controlling the narrative and, most importantly, the evidence she left behind. Rewriting history in real time. The days following Diana's passing became a masterclass in narrative control, and the quantum AI's analysis shows it was anything but accidental. The AI tracked the palace's public relations strategy, analyzing every press release, every planted story, and even the emotional tone of news broadcasts. It detected a sudden and coordinated pivot. Initially, the narrative pushed by royal advisors was one of protocol and tradition, a cold, distant response. But as public anger mounted, the AI logged a dramatic shift. Keywords in press briefings changed overnight from protocol and private matter to grief, grandmother, and family. This wasn't an evolution of feeling. According to the AI, it was a calculated campaign to humanize the monarchy and reclaim the story. The centerpiece of this campaign was the Queen's now famous live television address. Humans saw a grandmother finally showing her heart. The AI saw something different. It analyzed the speech's syntax, cadence, and even the objects placed in the background of the shot. A photo of the family, a window overlooking the crowds. The AI concluded the speech was a masterpiece of sentimental misdirection. The language was carefully crafted to express personal grief while completely avoiding any admission of institutional fault. The single tear shed by the Queen, a moment that melted the public's anger, was flagged by the AI with a 97% probability of being what it called an accepted strategic emotional release. In other words, it was likely a planned moment designed to be the single image that would dominate the news cycle and end the crisis. Even the funeral itself was a battlefield of symbols. Charles fought for a public, state-like funeral. The AI's analysis suggests this was a move to publicly claim Diana as one of their own, thereby neutralizing the abandonment narrative her legal team could have used. The iconic image of William and Harry walking behind the coffin was, according to the AI's data, a point of fierce debate. Prince Philip's reported instruction to the boys to not cry was about more than a stiff upper lip. It was about presenting a united, unbroken royal front. At the end of the day, every decision from the flowers to the music to the route of the procession was analyzed and deployed to transform Diana from a threat to the monarchy into its most tragic and beloved symbol, forever absorbed into the history it wanted to write. The AI's shocking conclusion is that we didn't just witness a funeral, we witnessed the real-time burial of a dangerous truth. The AI's dossier of scandals and wild theories. While Project Lancelot's primary analysis pointed to a legal crisis, a secondary process was running in the background. The quantum AI was tasked with analyzing and assigning a probability score to the dozens of scandals and so-called wild theories that have haunted the official story for decades. The machine processed every scrap of data from the official investigation, known as Operation Paget, alongside thousands of pages of independent journalism, eyewitness accounts, and leaked documents. The results are nothing short of explosive. The AI concluded that the official narrative of a tragic accident caused by a drunk driver is, statistically, the least likely explanation. It instead presents a chilling web of interconnected anomalies that points toward a far more deliberate and coordinated event. First, the AI focused on the driver, Henri Paul. The official report said he was drunk, but the AI flagged major inconsistencies. It analyzed the high levels of carbon monoxide found in his blood, something that would have incapacitated him long before he even got in the car. But here's the kicker. The AI found that the specific blood sample tested may not have even belonged to him. It cross-referenced DNA markers from the sample with Paul's known medical records and found a statistical mismatch. Furthermore, the AI analyzed his finances. In the months before that night, over $200,000 appeared in his bank accounts from unknown sources. The AI traced the patterns of these deposits and found they were consistent with payment methods used by several intelligence agencies, including MI6 and the CIA, for confidential informants. Get this, the AI assigned a 78% probability that Henri Paul was not just a driver, but an active informant caught between powerful forces. Next, the AI tackled the enduring mystery of the white Fiat Uno that allegedly clipped the Mercedes in the tunnel. French authorities claimed they could never find it. The AI, however, processed satellite imagery, traffic camera data from a 3-mile radius, and eyewitness descriptions. It constructed a predictive model of the car's likely escape route and, believe it or not, identified 3 potential vehicles. One of those vehicles was registered to a photographer with known links to French intelligence services who mysteriously vanished for 2 years immediately after the incident. The AI also analyzed the claims of a bright flash just before the collision. It cross-referenced the eyewitness descriptions with a database of non-lethal military hardware and found a 92% match with a specific type of high-intensity strobe device used by special forces to disorient targets without leaving physical evidence. The most controversial theory the AI analyzed was that Diana was pregnant with Dodi Fayed's child and they were planning to announce their engagement. The palace has always denied this, but the AI was able to analyze Diana's private communications and discrete financial records. It flagged several unusual purchases in the weeks prior, including consultations with a top fertility specialist under an assumed name. It also analyzed Dodi's purchase of an engagement ring, confirmed by surveillance footage from that very day. The AI then ran a shocking simulation. What would the political and social fallout be if the mother of the future King of England were to marry a Muslim man and give birth to his half-sibling? The AI's projection was stark. It predicted a dynastic and cultural crisis that would threaten the very identity of the Church of England and the monarchy. This provided a motive far more powerful and immediate than any legal squabble. The AI's final, chilling analysis concerned the medical response. It mapped the ambulance's route to the hospital, which took over an hour for a journey that should have taken minutes. It was a route that strangely passed several other world-class hospitals. The AI flagged this delay as a Six Sigma statistical anomaly, making it virtually impossible to be a random choice. The collection of these findings doesn't point to one single culprit, but to a terrifying conclusion that multiple parties had the motive, means, and opportunity to ensure Diana never left Paris alive. Is it possible that the royal family's greatest secret was buried along with the people's princess? Like this video and subscribe for more shocking truths. What other historical events could be completely rewritten by an AI?